Okay, so today I want to talk about underwater adventuring. Now, the DM's guide has a little bit more than 2 pages on underwater adventuring, and I never use this much. Yeah, and this book, in the back of it, has some stuff on making a random deep one village. I can find that, which is pretty interesting stuff there, but I haven't really needed to use it because underwater adventuring doesn't get used much. The U series that began with the Sinister Secret of Salt Marsh had some underwater adventuring, but the perception was that you could only underwater adventure for a really brief time. And so in preparation for this video, I looked up the spells that you would use for that in this book. Underwater breathing and airy water. And airy water lasts 1 turn per round, or per level. And you have to be 9th level to even cast that spell. So it's a minimum of an hour and a half minimum time. So yeah, that's a pretty short adventure. But underwater breathing lasts 6 turns per level. That's basically an hour per level. And since you have to be 5th level to even cast the thing, this means that this spell, water breathing, allows you to have adventures that last minimum of 5 hours. So that's pretty good. That was a lot longer than I remembered it to be. But this book, The Mazes of Minotaur's Companion, has a class called the Shapeshifter, which is, I really wish it had been in the core book. This is like the unearthed arcana for Mazes and Minotaurs, and it's not an overpowered shapeshifter class. It's a unique thing, different from anything in D&D. And you could choose as one of your forms a fish, and so you'd be able to breathe underwater. And so you could have an underwater adventure that way. But the Mazes and Minotaurs core book, one of the core classes is Nymph, and they're all different kinds, but one of those kinds is the Sea Nymph. And if you're a sea nymph, you can breathe underwater, like forever. You can breathe underwater, no problem at all. And one of your spells allows you to share this power with your friends for hours. So, that's one of the implications of that is underwater adventures in Mazes and Minotaurs could be a real thing. And so it's surprising there is a Mazes and Minotaurs underwater adventure, and it's pretty good, but it's surprising there aren't more of them because it's such an interesting idea, different from anything I've encountered in normal dungeons. So, also, in the Pages of the Dragon, there were some new classes. Here's the Shapeshifter class here. I put it in my player's handbook so it'd be handy because I wished it were in there. And in an episode of the Minotaur, there was this thing on Heroes of the Sea. And one of them is the Tritons. It was a replacement for the Centaur, a sea version. They can breathe underwater all day long. It's a fighter class suitable for underwater adventuring. Not so good on land, though. Another is the Delphins, which are shape-shifting dolphins that can turn to humans. So you can have land adventures with them, but their natural form is dolphins. So they're basically spellcasters who can live under the sea. You can have underwater adventures with them. There was also a Mariner class, which is a specialist class. And this is a really useful thing to have in your crew, but it doesn't look like it'd be much fun to play as a player character. But it's not an underwater class, it's just an aquatic class. So there you go. So, yeah, so I said Mazes and Minotaurs would be a good one for underwater adventures. Let me show you the nymphs here. Yes, I got all these different kind of nymphs, two of which are water-breathing nymphs, the river nymphs and the sea nymphs. So, I'm doing this video as a call for underwater adventures. It's a cool idea that has not been done enough.